Okay, now that we have our wolf word art, I want to show you, just give you an idea of something cool we can do, and it's kind of building on what we did in lesson one, is I want to add an object right here in the middle of the letter O. Of course, the centerpiece of the letter O is kind of problematic, so the quickest way to get rid of that is we could come over here with our ellipse tool and cover it up. And I know you're going, Rick, you just created one circle, or covered one circle with another one. But again, all we have to do is come down here to stroke, right click so it's a white, and now you have no circle showing. So what I want to do is I want to import an object from lesson one. So we go to File, Import, or Control I, and make sure we're in lesson one, and let's go ahead and select Wolf Paw. And we'll open, and there it is. With our selector tool and holding the control key, we can resize that and put it in there. It's like, all right, I think that's pretty cool. And again, this is just giving you more ideas of things you can do with word art. So for now, let's go ahead and delete this, and I'll show you why later. Now remember, we still have this object here. So let's go ahead and select everything and group it. And let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole screen. Now for now, I'm going to take this, slide it off to the side. Now earlier in this lesson, we changed the ruler from pixels to inches. Now I want to show you why. So let's go ahead and build a frame for this wolf sign. Now, if you're going to be designing this in Inkscape and printing from within in Inkscape, we can automatically control the size of the image of what we're printing. So let's go ahead and grab our rectangle square tool, and up here we're going to start where it says 0, and let's just say our piece is going to be 10 inches. Now the one thing we have to remember to do is let's go ahead, because it's going to be for the frame, just fill it with black. Now if this is too hard for you to see exactly what it is, go ahead and zoom in on it, and now you have a much better way of getting this rectangle to be as close to 10 inches as possible. Now, same for the height. Slide it over to the side ruler, and if we want this to be 10 inches by 8, just drag this down to where, and if you go beyond the border, it'll keep scrolling down. So we want this to be right at 2, at the 2 inch. And you know, simple math, 10 minus 8 is 2. So now we have our rectangle that's exactly 10, and we'll drag it here, and let's zoom out just a little bit more, and just like we did in lesson 1, we're going to duplicate this by hitting Control D, and we're going to hold our control key, bring it down some, and let's make it white. So now we have a frame, and you know, get a rough guess at the sides, because it's easy to get the sides narrower than the top and bottom. So that looks pretty good. Now what we really want to do is center this internal rectangle and the external rectangle on each other. Now since we already have the inner rectangle selected, hold the Shift key and select the outer one. And we'll bring back up our Align and Distribute toolbox. And it's as simple as clicking Center on Vertical Axis and Center on Horizontal Axis. And you can see them both move just a little bit. So now these two are perfectly centered on each other. Now let's go ahead and group these two. So now we can treat them as one object. So now we have our wolf And if you remember from lesson 1, each of these are going to be on different layers. So we need to raise wolf to the top. And we do that again by clicking Object and raise to top. And now we have wolf. Now the reason I had us remove the wolf paw from this is because I knew we were going to resize the wolf to fit within our frame. Now let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. And we think we got it pretty much where we want it. And there we go. Now we could also at this point, we have the word wolf selected. We've got the frame grouped. We could do the same thing, select them both, bring up our object alignment tool, and this time we're just going to center on the vertical axis. I got lucky, it's really close. Now all we have to do is re-import our wolf paw, select your tool, hold the control key while we resize it. Bring it in there to where we like it. And now, if we zoom out, we now have the wolf word art in a frame. Everything's lined up, and we even have our cool wolf paw in the middle of it. Well, kind of, so let's adjust it just a little bit more. And now we can go in and add whatever